Well, it's been an interesting, month or three leading up to last Friday. I had a half-hour conversation with Guy McPherson. He was on our radio program earlier in the week, basically saying, hey, we're screwed. It's like we're rearranging the chairs and the deck chairs in the Titanic. I'm still not there yet. And I in fact, I had a couple of interesting conversations with some people who are pretty solid with climate science over the weekend, and they're guessing that Guy he's using the most aggressive math, and there's less aggressive math that indicates that we've got maybe 10 or 15 years to stop using fossil fuels. Now, as Guy pointed out on this program, that would basically mean, well, actually, what he asserted was that would mean the collapse of industrial society. I don't agree with that. I think it would mean the transformation of industrial society. That if we were to move from a fossil fuel-based energy-driven economy to a sunlight-based energy-driven economy, so that wind power, which is a variation on sun power, the winds are caused by the heating of the earth and the rotation of the earth. Wind power, wave power, geothermal. That's not sunlight. That's nuclear, I suppose. It's old, but whatever. Geothermal. I'm not in favor of nuclear, by the way. But if we just went with wind, wave, geothermal, and sunlight, and we did it with the enthusiasm and commitment that we went into World War II, or that we built the atomic bomb, we could pull this off. I mean, we defeated the Nazis. If you can defeat Hitler, you can defeat climate change. But I think it's, and this is, I say this apropos of the fact that the IPCC came out with this report last week saying 15 years. And by the way, we're already seeing the effects of this global climate change. All this weird weather all over the world. Welcome to the new normal, and it's going to get worse. And we're 0.8 of a degree warmer than baseline, than pre-industrial civilization. And so there's probably about that much still baked into the cake that we're going to get whether we like it or not. What are we going to do about that? I think there are a couple of things that we need to be talking about, and talking about clearly and loudly. One is that the global warming denying, this idiot Jim Brindenstein, I think his name is, who was standing on the floor of the House of Representatives representing the oligarchs of Oklahoma last week, saying, we know there's, global warming, the earth hasn't warmed in the last 10 years and it only goes up or down based on solar radiation. I mean, either this guy is, and his ilk, I mean, it's him and a few thousand others who are out there talking loudly, and then, the millions of Americans who watch them on Fox News or whatever and go, or listen to right-wing talk radio. Either he's being paid really well to say things that are going to lead to the death of future generations and that are causing the death right now of people. He's being paid really well to have blood on his hands, or he is an all-time world-class idiot for having the stupidity to go on the floor of the House of Representatives as a member of this august body of 435 people. I mean, this is a very small group. And speak authoritatively on an issue that he apparently doesn't know anything about. We need to start calling these people out. We need to start identifying them. We need to start shaming them. The Koch brothers, their fortune was built on fossil fuel. It continues to be to a large extent. The oil companies have been funding climate change denial. This stuff has now reached the point where you can't just say, oh, it's a debate, or, oh, isn't that funny? No. People are dying. If Ronald Reagan had not stolen the election in 1980 by cutting a deal with the Ayatollah to keep the hostages, Jimmy Carter would have been our president for another 4 years. And Jimmy Carter had put into place the year before that election, had put into place a solar bank in the United States that by 14 years ago, 2000, would have met 20% of our electricity needs, and he was on a course to do it. And his math didn't account for Moore's Law, that every 2 years technology doubles, its price cuts in half, and its size cuts in half. And that we would import no more foreign oil. I mean, here's what Jimmy Carter had to say back on July 15th, 1979. This from the Carter Library.
The energy crisis is real. It is worldwide. It is a clear and present danger to our nation. These are facts, and we simply must face them. What I have to say to you now about energy is simple and vitally important. Point one, I am tonight setting a clear goal for the energy policy of the United States. Beginning this moment, this nation will never use more foreign oil than we did in 1977. Never.
And then the solar bank.
Moreover, I will soon submit legislation to Congress calling for the creation of this nation's first solar bank, which will help us achieve the crucial goal of 20% of our energy coming from solar power by the year 2000.
Now, I remember that speech. And had he been president, so Reagan comes in, the first thing he does is takes down Carter's solar panels off the roof of the White House. There's another piece to this. The other piece to this is that the McCutcheon case that the Supreme Court ruled on last week was not about free speech. It wasn't even about whether corporations should have free speech or how much money billionaires should be able to give to politicians. It was about what constitutes corruption. Here's what FDR said about what constitutes corruption.
These economic royalists complain that we seek to overthrow the institutions of America. What they really complain of is that we seek to take away their power.
And now the most important part.
Our allegiance. And our allegiance to American institutions requires the overthrow of this kind of power.
There you go. So that's, you got Jimmy Carter saying, we're going to do something. You got FDR in the past having said to, the rich guys who are trying to corrupt the country, no, we're going to stop you. And we need to be doing both now. It is time for our allegiance, not just to American institutions of democracy, our allegiance to all life on earth requires the overthrow of the kind of political corruption and power that is represented by McCutcheon and Citizens United, that allows oil billionaires and oil corporations to continue poisoning this planet, possibly making it inhospitable for human life.